I wanted to make a slightly more personal video this time in celebration of hitting 100 subscribers. I recently moved from the United States to Spain, and making a video discussing the big moves in my life and how they related to gaming seemed like a fun way to help cure me of my homesickness. I hope you enjoy. A big move can be incredibly difficult for a lot of people, myself included. Whether it's moving out of your parents' house and going to college, moving for work, or whatever circumstance is taking you away from somewhere you're used to, it can be scary to try and call a new place home, especially when you don't know anyone or anything about the area. I found that bringing along my favorite games always makes the transition just a little bit easier. When I first went off to college, I actually brought a CRT TV with my Sega Genesis. I know, it was ridiculous. This was 2014, and I was taking along the least convenient way to play games, but I didn't have any component cables or monitors back then, so it was the only option I had to bring my Genesis. These days I can just play on my Mega Drive Mini, but back then this was the only thing I could do. When my friends and I got our own apartment at school, I was able to bring some more of my stuff along. We had an amazing setup, a big CRT next to a nice flat screen TV, we had a PC for playing movies and TV shows, my Sega Genesis, Saturn, and Dreamcast, an SNES Classic, a PS2, a TI-99/4A, several Switches, and of course, a GameCube for playing Melee. And boy did we ever play Melee. We were in this house for almost 3 years, so of course it didn't start off with all these consoles, but instead we kept slowly growing our gaming room. We ended up accumulating a bunch of random old tech, and at times our house kind of looked like a tech hoarding house, but whenever we cleaned it felt really homey. The last year we were there was an amazing year for gaming, and there's nothing like living with a bunch of gamers. We played through Gargoyle's Quest, Castlevania, and of course, my favorite game to play on the weekends was Darius Gaiden 2-player co-op.
No, we need him.
He's gone.
Oh, no! Oh, we almost had him. He protects us from the asteroids in this one. Oh, this is gonna be a disaster.
We're fine.
We also had this tradition of going out to the bars on Thursdays. Every week after we got back, 2 of my friends would work as hard as they could to beat Contra 3, and eventually it just became second nature to them.
This is my favorite game, in my life, dude. Honestly.
With this.
One of the best things we would do is that every couple of months, one of us would get a hankering to play an old Pokemon game. And since all of us owned Game Boys and DS's, we would always be able to play together and trade and battle Pokemon. One of my favorite things to do would be play double battles in Heart Gold and Soul Silver using the DS wireless connection. After graduation though, I had an awkward amount of time before moving to Spain, and this was the perfect time for me to catch up on my single-player gaming. It was so fun getting back into the Shining Force series and finally getting the 1cc on Darius Gaiden. Plus, there was a lot of really cool stuff coming out then, like the Glay Lancer re-release. Now that I'm in Spain, I've spent a lot of time with my Switch and my new PSP Go, which has been a godsend for those long metro rides. Being able to create content about my favorite pastime has really made the transition a hell of a lot easier for me, and I'm looking forward to continuing to make more videos. So thanks for joining me. I'm Bofner, and thanks for being around. Have a good one.